Hello, welcome to my review of Paranoid Android. This is 4.3 Beta 2. To note, Beta 3 has come out but has not been compiled and released for the LG G2 at this current time. So I am giving you a review of what is currently out and what I have been testing for a little over, well, actually it's been over a week. Most of what I've been trying to do is collect enough log cats to try to help Houston figure out exactly what's going on. I haven't had the best of luck with this ROM as far as crashing goes, but I can tell you I understand what 4.3 is trying to bring to the table, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. So if you go through here and you look through these settings here, you're not going to find anything that's going to stand out at you. And this is done intentionally, okay? Of course you have performance down here, and you have some changes you can make. There are a lot more schedulers and governors included in this kernel. As you can see here. And I have tried quite a few of these in my efforts to try to figure out exactly what's going on with this phone. So, let's talk about this ROM in particular, and what we're going to talk about right now is this particular variant, which is the LG G2 D800. 4.3 plus Beta 2. If you're looking for settings, custom settings anyways, let's go into sound here. You're going to see it's very simple. What's missing? Quiet mode, or quiet hours. I do happen to believe that as part of my conversations and perusing of Google Plus that they are trying to implement a more intuitive and a much more useful implementation of quiet hours, and I look forward to that when they get done with it. They have worked wonders with Hover. Of course, the philosophy here is keep it simple. Make it so that somebody new could pick up this ROM and use it and find it intuitive. And they keep it clean and it flows with the stock Android experience. So we look through here and we do see a few different settings. Here is your double tap to sleep, double tap status bar to lock the device, double tap to wake. This is to disable or enable the double tap to wake the device. We have peak, notification LED, and battery LED. Okay, peak and hover are your two main features in this ROM. Most everything else is just basically your stock Android. Buttons, you got your volume to wake, keyboard, cursor, radio, and volume buttons, storage, and your batteries where you'll find the location for you to change your battery bar, which I am in immersive mode. We'll click here for more. You got your color calibration, which I did not actually alter or mess with in this build. And you got your vibration intensity and launch music app. Other than that, everything is pretty much your standard affair. Okay, so let's talk about kernels. There is a lot going on with this particular build when it comes to kernels. In particular, kernel being singular because in this case, it is Houston's stock LG KitKat kernel that has been modified to run an AOSP based ROM. Okay, why is that important? Because it fixes touch. It fixes a lot of small issues that you were having before on AOSP on this phone, using what was based off of Jelly Bean LG stock kernel that had been edited. Caused a lot of issues. With the touch games, I've mentioned this before, basically what happens is touch input becomes cursor input or something to that effect, and that's what prevents certain games from registering your touches. Granny Smith comes to mind. I think there was a couple of Need for Speed games too that people were mentioning we're having problems with. Those are not problems in here at all. Okay, so this is huge, and because this is the stock LG kernel, they have finally figured out how to fix the LS980 variant. Now, if you're wondering how to install this, I did a video, an install video for this. Check it out. Please follow the instructions for that. We're not going to talk about that now. Otherwise, I'd have a 40-minute video probably. Hover. What is hover? Well, first let's talk about how you enable hover. Right up here at the top, that is your hover has been enabled. That's turning it off. Turn it back on. You won't see anything from hover unless you get a notification. It's not like Halo. Okay, and when the notification comes in, I have a video for that too. Check it out, but I'll tell you real briefly. If you don't get one during this video, it'll slide down. It's very non-intrusive. I believe it currently lasts 3 seconds, but there's some talk about changing the time or making some customizations there. From there, you can slide down on it to see the expanded notification, or you can press it once and you'll get a floating window out here. Very useful, especially with Hangouts, as I'm a fan of being able to respond to a text without actually having to open the whole application and get out of what I'm in. It's just a step I don't want to take. And because of the way that this notification system works, and yes, I know, Halo does the same thing, but this is very simple, it's very intuitive. Somebody can pick this up and figure out how to use it very quickly because there's not a lot to it. There's not a lot of gestures, not a lot of settings. Beta 3, there are some changes, we'll talk about that later. What is peak? If your phone was locked, and your screen was off, and you had a notification, and you pick your phone up or move your phone, then it would show you a black screen with that notification in white right there. Very easy to read, very quick to get access to. I also find it useful, however, I like my lock screen notifications, and that's what I use. Let's also note that you cannot change the wallpaper on your lock screen. Okay? You can do the blur, but you can't change the wallpaper itself, so you can't have two separate wallpapers. Kind of annoying, and you also can't do the same thing with your notification pull down, but you'll see it's kind of transparent down here so you can see behind it. So I do understand where they're going with that, but you can't change this image like you can some other ROMs. If you're looking for a lot of customizations, look somewhere else. You're not going to get that in Paranoid Android, and that is fine. Because it's clean, once the kinks get worked out, I have a feeling this is going to be a very fast and smooth ROM, very dependable. Even with the crashes I've experienced, which have been quite frequent, I would still use this as a daily driver, and I have for over a week. So the pros far outweigh the cons if you're not looking for a whole lot of features. If you're looking for a nice ROM that you can use, depend on, and add whatever you want to make it more yours, this is it. So, continuing on. Of course, as you've seen here, I have Pi. This is, of course, Paranoid Android's implementation of Pi, their new Pi. You can see you got your service provider there, notification count there, date, the Wi-Fi that you're on, percent battery, and you get this nice little bar here, and there you go. You see I have this nice little notification here. If I swipe down, I get the full notification. If I tap it, it'll pull it right up right here, and I have the ability to scroll through it, and I can just tap out of it and it goes away. So again, very useful. I do like it, and they are bringing some changes to it with the new beta that came out recently. Let's see. I already told you the quiet hours is omitted. I do use lock screen notifications, but it's not the kind that you're used to seeing in AOSP. I use nils. Capital N, lowercase I, capital S. Okay, I use nils, and even though it's not as elegant as lock screen notifications, it works to get my notifications the way I want them. There is no Omni switch here. Again, this is very vanilla. You're not going to get those sound packs and Omni features that you're seeing in a lot of other ROMs, and again, that is fine. GPS, I found the GPS works quite well with this ROM. I did not have any issues with the GPS. It locked quick enough for me, and it tracked just fine. I did use it quite a few times for navigation, as I found myself having to travel over this last week. Battery life, we'll talk about that here in just a second. In fact, let me go ahead and pull that up for you. Please note I did not test the camera because this is the same AOSP camera you've seen a million times before, and honestly I have been using the Google camera. I will say that for some reason on this ROM it does seem the shutter speed has been affected a little bit, but it still works, and it's still an improvement on the AOSP camera in my opinion. And if you want to know how that camera performs, check out my Modi ROM review. Here we are, 13 hours, 45 minutes, 58 seconds off the charger. You can see I had a few reboots here. 1, 2, 3 reboots here. 5 hours and 6 minutes of screen on time. I still had 13% battery. So let's go back over here. We'll look at this graph here. 13% battery. Oh, I could easily squeak out another 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes of battery. So I'm looking at 5.5 to 5 hours and 45 minutes screen on time. That's really good, especially the way that I use my phone. Okay, here's your AN22 benchmark, 32,025. And here are the individual breakdowns for you. Here we're looking at some temperatures after I took the benchmark here, 41 degrees Celsius. That's actually pretty good. Now, I'm not sure what's going on with Quadrant. I have seen it bench other AOSP ROMs higher than this, but I have a feeling that it might just be this beta. Here we have one of the many issues that I had where Pi got stuck on the screen, and the only way to get it to go away was turn the power off, turn it back on, and actually it stayed still. I had to do it again to get it to go away. Here's another bench, 10,539. This is actually on ART. I did revert back to Dalvik. Here's on ART again, 32,016. 32,016. Here we go. Temperature after running that benchmark, 50 degrees Celsius. I did run it with the Nightmare Governor. Again, I have been experimenting with the governors and the schedulers because I do intend to do a review video for that. 8,795, 43 degrees Celsius. And here we have another one, 10,811. This is again on Nightmare, but using the Zen scheduler. 46 degrees Celsius. Another one, 10,702. This is using Hyper Governor and Zen scheduler. This is just a preview of what I'm going to be working on with these schedulers. This will take me quite a while to complete, so I'm trying to figure out when I'm going to be able to work on it some more. This is what I was saving for my talk about Bluetooth performance. I was disappointed on the Bluetooth performance of this ROM. Here is why. As far as A2DP goes, it works great. I had no problems with it sending metadata to my head unit. I have my 4 Touch and Kia Evo that I tested it with. However, you see here it says message access connected to map. And there's a crash that I had. What was unusual about this is that it connects and it will not share text messages to the head unit when you get them. Now, if you get out of the truck, turn it off, go do your thing, and you come back and you have a notification waiting for you, a text message notification waiting for you, turn it back on, it actually does queue up in the My 4 Touch. Very odd, very unusual, but it does. Here's another crash. YouTube. Actually, I had this while I was trying to upload a video. It was very annoying. I had to restore my backup because I couldn't get YouTube to stop crashing, and uninstalling the app, reinstalling the app, well, uninstalling the data. Anyways, I troubleshot it, and the only thing I could do was restore my backup, and that fixed the problem. Here's another quick battery drain test. 10 hours, 10 minutes, and 46 seconds off battery. I'm sorry, off the charger. We only have 3 hours and 19 minutes of screen on time. You can see I had a crash here, but I still have 43% battery life. So again, we're inching close to that 6-hour battery life that I could easily have gotten, okay? And I did stream a lot of music. Don't worry about that, that was a joke. 13 hours, 1 minute, 40, and by the way, this scares the hell out of me, but if it were real. 13 hours, 1 minute, 47 seconds off the charger. You see again, a couple crashes there. 3 hours, 55 minutes of screen on time, still 13% better. This was me really intensively trying to kill this thing. From here down here, this is me really using the hell out of it, playing games on it, trying real hard to wear that battery down. Okay, here we go. 12 hours, 51 minutes, 58 seconds. We have 3% left, and I got 4 hours and 57 minutes of screen on time. This, again, you can see I had a couple crashes. This was a pretty significant one. This is a minor one here, and I don't even know how it looped up because I didn't plug it in, so I'm not sure what happened there. That is very weird because you see down here there is no charging. So definitely something going on down here. These are my wake clocks for that. And that's pretty much how you can expect the battery to run. Using it normally and not trying to kill the battery, I do believe you'll find yourself inching up close to that 6-hour battery marker. ART versus Dalvik. Really there is a speed difference with the Dalvik, but I'm sorry, with the ART, but not so much that I felt the need to stay on ART. I only used ART for a short period of time because of the crashes I was having and because I was trying to troubleshoot this ROM to figure out what exactly was going on. I did not stay on ART. Immersive mode, obviously, if you scroll down here, you'll see here's immersive mode. It brings up Pi. Obviously it works. Obviously I'm a fan. I've had no issues with it. It's been responsive for me. Scrolling. Somebody mentioned they want to see scrolling. So I'm going to show you real quick. this is an app that's usually plagued with people complaining about scrolling problems. So let me just show you here. Very responsive. I hope this shows really well in the video. Oh my gosh, I just went through and checked all these too. I have a whole lot to read, as usual. Okay, here we go. So as of making this video, you can see here there are 8,943 posts. Okay, somebody asking about CAF, because obviously they did not read what is going on here. They didn't read a single thing. They just popped in here and asked a question. All right, well, anyways, nothing unusual there. I do talk about etiquette. As I mentioned before, with A2DP, that it did work just fine with Kia Uvo as far as metadata goes, and my Ford Touch as far as metadata goes. I want to talk about the form right quick. And again, I just want to show you scrolling. No problem at all with scrolling. Let me go back to a page full of posts and show you no hiccups, no skips. It's smooth, it's fast. Definitely noticeable speed difference here with the stock kernel. The form is 895 pages, which is quite a bit since my last review of this ROM. If you are looking through the history of my videos, you'll see last time I reviewed this was at version 4.1, and it was only at 684 pages back then. There's a lot going on with this new version though. Let's talk about what's coming out next though with the Beta 3. According to the Google Plus page, the changelog says that they've done some language translation improvements or additions. You've got some fixes to documents downloading. I guess people are having some crashes when opening them. I haven't experienced that. They fixed an issue with the launcher loading as a recent app. I haven't had that problem either. They added the ability to launch apps from recents. I've seen a video on this. I look forward to trying it out, but I hear it's quite hit or miss. So I don't know if it's actually going to stick around. They might get rid of it, or they might work on improving it, or they might make it go another route. Who knows? Definitely monitor the page to see what they're going to do with this. They added the ability to go... I'm sorry, they added the... yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. They added the ability to go directly to a floating mode from the notification drawer. So that's kind of cool, because that would mean that you could slide down here and you can press and hold this, and instead of it opening up the app, and you know, obviously you press it once, what it'll do is it'll open up that floating notification. They added root access modes that are available in the developer options. They've removed App Ops category tab, as they already offer a category in app privacy. There have been bug fixes. There's a hover blacklist. Thank you, Lord. There's a hover blacklist. And then there are more hover improvements and bug fixes. This is natural, and this is to be expected. I knew that was coming. And then they joke around about Optimus increased by 3%. Ladies will like you more. I don't know about all that, but I am a fan to see where this ROM is going, because again, I mean, it's very clean, very simple, nothing really to bug it up. Be patient with this ROM. Could you use it as a daily driver? Yeah, but you know there's going to be times you're going to try and turn the screen on. It's not going to turn on. You're going to hang up the phone, and the phone's going to stop, get stuck, and reboot. You're going to be walking around, and all of a sudden your pocket starts vibrating non-stop. You pull the phone out, it's in the middle of booting. You got the Paranoid Android boot logo going, and it's just vibrating. That's a couple of the crashes that I've had. I'm going to do a quick reboot test for you here, just so you can get an idea of how long it takes for us to boot. While we finish this up, let's talk about form etiquette. Remember, search. If you're not going to search, just read 5, maybe 6 pages back. If you see a lot of the back and forth, you know, somebody flaming somebody else, skip those posts and keep going back. Those aren't very useful for you. And as I've said before, I am a fan of this animation, this boot animation here. I do like it. I do think it is pretty nice to look at. By the way, this wallpaper here will be in my wallpapers link in the description below. This is actually Paranoid Android's art on their Google Plus page. I just saved it and used it. I do like it. It's pretty cool, in my opinion. It does have a lot of busyness going on, but it's pretty nice. As always, if you found this video useful, please hit thanks. If you have any questions or if there's anything I didn't cover, I know I didn't cover the camera because again, it's your AOSP camera. To me, it's disappointing, but it's there, it's functional, it works, whatever. I did use, this is the Google camera. It's the new Google camera, so I didn't talk about the camera on this one. Anything else though that I may have missed, or suggestions on things you want to see in future videos, please just let me know, and I'll be more than glad to restore my backup, take a look at it, and get back to you.